will you, as we hear a text of Paul saying, I am pressing towards the mark. The question is, how about you? Will you join me? Will you be part of those who are pressing towards this mark? Not just to finish the race, not just to run so that we finish the race, but pressing towards this mark for the prize that is set before us. A story is told, a vision is told. A woman of God says to us that one day she sees herself with a large number of people whereby they are preparing to take on a journey. As they are preparing to take on this journey, they are having their horses and their wagons. They are loading their wagons with luggages and taking the food, the clothes, everything that they know they will need in this journey. So they are taking everything and loading their wagons. And then they start up on this journey. As they have started up on this journey, we are told that they are on this journey. As they were going on this journey, the way they were using and the only way that they had, on the other side of it, we are told that there was a white tall wall, and then on the other side of this road we are told that there was a very deep precipice, or a very deep, or a very, let me say, a very deep hole whereby it is just next to this road. And then the funny thing, or the painful thing now with this road again, is that this road, as they are going front, it is growing narrower and steeper. So as they continue on the wagons, we are told that this road, as it grew narrower and steeper, they came to a point whereby they see that, you know what, we are trying to squeeze our wagons against the wall, but it is not bringing any result because we might end up falling on this other side. So they agree to say, you know what, the best way is for us to leave these wagons and then maybe take small luggages. You know, we understood that we took the important luggage, but maybe let us now take the most important luggages and put them on the horseback so that we can ride the horses, and then we leave these wagons behind. So they agree in one accord, and then they do exactly that. As they did that, we are told that they continue with this journey. As they were still on the way, we are told that now the road continued on to grow narrower and also steeper. So they find themselves in a situation whereby now they were saying, you know what, we are now in danger because these horses, these luggages which we have put on both sides of the horses are now pushing us against the wall, making us to end up falling on the other side where now there is a very deep pit. So it is maybe best if we could cut this luggage and leave the luggage and now maybe take the most essential ones, that which will only maybe sustain us for the next 2 hours or so, the ones which maybe we can just put on our bags, and then we carry them on our backs, then we continue riding on these horses. They agree in one accord, then they leave those things which they thought they were most important, those luggages. So as they have left those luggages, we are told they continue, and as they continued, mind you, the road is continuing to grow narrower and steepy. And then they find themselves now in a situation whereby they were seeing that, you know what, riding on these horses will no longer work for us because the belly of these horses are now pushing us against the wall, making us to end up fall on the other side. So it is maybe best we start walking on our foot, leave the horses behind, because this road, the way it is too slim, we would not manage on the horsebacks. So we are told that they agree again, then they leave the horses behind. They start to file in a single file, the one after the other, following each other on this journey. And then after they have left the horses, we are told that there were some cords or some ropes which came from high on the top of the wall, which reached to them, and everyone held on to this rope. There were many ropes, and each person would hold on to this rope. As they held on to this ropes, and they ended up saying, you know what, even our shoes are now not even comfortable. They are making us to have some sores on our foot. Maybe it is best if we can remove the shoes. We are told they removed the shoes, they removed the socks, and then they walked barefooted. And mind you, now the road was now in a narrow way, whereby now it was hardly for them to even step on that road. So the only way they would depend, or the only way they would reach to where they are going, they depended only on the ropes which were hanging from the wall. So we are told that in each transaction, as they changed from the wagons into the horsebacks, we are told there were some group of people who were not used to some hardships, so they would remain behind. As they left the horses and now went on foot, we are told some people were left behind. As now they removed the shoes, there were those guys who would say, I will not travel, I will not step down with my bare foot, so it's better I remain behind rather than going up front. So in every transaction, there were some people who were remaining behind. What does this tell us? This tells us that, it is like this Christian journey, whereby now in every transaction, when the standard of Christianity is being raised up high, some of us start to remain behind, because we seem like now we are being pushed away. It seems like now we are no longer wanted to be part of this group. It seems like they are judging us when they tell us to stop doing some things and do some certain things which are good and acceptable in the Christian way. It seems like someone is against us. The elders are always on our necks. The elders are always in our cases. So they are fighting us. They are against us, mostly as us as youths, as we are told to wear our dresses and our trousers in a certain way. We think that, because maybe they didn't enjoy their youth, so we are now enjoying our youth. They want us not to enjoy it. So each time when the standard is being raised up high, so that the Christians may be of that quality, they may be like refined gold, accountable and responsible, worthy Christians who would be able to stand in the last days. It seems like those elders and the pastors and the leaders are against us. So we may end up, we will say it is better if I remain behind rather than joining in those people whom their standard is very high, and then we start to call them with names. But what am I saying to you, dear friend, tonight is that this is a call unto us to say, how about we take action? And then if we go back to our story, we are told that now they asked each other to say, what are these cords holding onto? And then someone says, you know what, these cords have been our dependence, and so it is best if we can trust into these cords, and because it has led us through to this place. And then we are told that they now see blood on this wall, and then they start to have some doubt, to ask themselves, what has happened? What happened? And then one of them says, you know what? If you can see this blood, it is because some people passed this road before us. So if they have managed to pass this road before us, so it is possible for us also to be able to pass this, to go through this road until we reach where we are going. So we are told that on the other side of this wall, whereby there is a very deep pit, there were some secular songs of this world, some profane sayings, some insults, all these things which sometimes we entertain as youths and enjoy them very well. They were on that other side. And then we are told that at some point, as they walked and walked and walked, at some point they saw a greater light ahead of them. And then they started to jump into that land. It was a green and beautiful land. And then at the end, they said, worthy, worthy is the lamb. What am I saying to you, dear friends, is that my question is, will you be part of those who will make it to the end? Or for you are, when the first transaction comes in, you will say, I am not acquainted to these things, so I will not be able to join in those who will go forward. Let me just remain behind. The question is, will you be able to stand even in tough times? Will you be able to stand even if you lose your shoes, your luggages, and everything that you thought you needed, until you have only that thing which you surely need, which is your faith? We are told that those cords which were let down was their faith, because the more they continued on going forward, the more those cords were growing in size. So this is my call to you, dear friends. This is my call to you, my elders, brothers and sisters, to say, how about we ask for the strength from God? To say, God, we are weak, but you are strong. We don't have the might, but you have it all. Give us the strength to push on, go on until the end, to be able to press towards the mark, not just pressing so that we can say at the end we were part of that race. Press on towards the mark so that at the end of the day you may get the prize. The prize whereby Jesus will say, well done, good and faithful servant. You were able to stand in tough times. Will you? Is our question. Will you be part of that people? Will you run until the end? Will you press on towards the mark? Will you say, not I, but Christ? Not I, but Christ. Be raised in sin in everything that I do. It's a call unto us, dear friends. Will you? May God help us so that in the end we may make it to the end. Amen.